Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
Gerald, my lovely.
Hello. Nice to be here. Thanks for
Nice to
letting me
be here
invite
and
myself
seeing
on.
you here again.
Yeah.
Should charge you board and lodging on this channel, shouldn't we?
Either that or just, let's just polish the bicycle and be done with it.
No, it's lovely having you here. Why are we here? That's a good question. We're going to be looking at decks that have upright, reverse cards. Is that probably the best way of describing it? How did this come about? Go on, you do the explanation because you put me up to this.
Oh, well, we were on with Chris yesterday from Sacred Seed, right?
Yeah, Sacred Tarot.
Sacred Tarot, sorry. Sacred Tarot. Sacred Seed is somebody else. She's no longer creating tarot, content.
That's not Chris.
And it is not Chris, but you had talked about, you showed the Fool from the Tarot of Oppositions.
Yeah. Because we were deep diving into each card, isn't it? We were doing the Fool last night. Yeah.
Yes, and you pulled this one out, and I'm like, going, ooh, that's a really good one. And then somebody also mentioned the Revelations Tarot.
Mm-hmm. Is it Jonathan? I can't remember.
I think it was Jonathan. I think it was Jonathan, which is this one. And it was just like, ooh, you should do a side-by-side comparison of them. And I'm like going, and Richie, before we went live, said, I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow, which is today. And I'm like going, well, Richie, I've got both of those decks. We could actually hold them up and do a comparison.
Strike while the iron's hot.
That's right. So
we are here to compare the Tarot of Oppositions. Look at the lovely thing about with the Revelations Tarot. I'm glad we've got exactly the same boxing and everything. That's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put that up because what we've got here, I've got scrolling along the bottom. Look at the technology here, what the two decks are, because we couldn't decide who was going to hold up what. But Gerald is basically going to be dealing with the Tarot of Oppositions, and I'm going to be holding up the Revelations Tarot, and we're going to be comparing it. That's basically what's happening.
That's actually good because I am oppositional often, and you're, yes, what you said. Hi.
Loving it.
I'm Gerald.
Okay, so should we say hello to a few people before we start?
Yes.
There's lots of people in here. First one is Ellie. Hello, my lovely Ellie. Hope you're doing very well. Lisa is here. Good evening. Good hello to you, Lisa.
Hi.
The lovely Sandra is here. Hello to everyone there. Deb is here. Purple Elephant. Hello to you. Oh, hello, Chris. Welcome. Evening, gents, he says. Hang on a moment. I thought Gerald was the bicycle, the Tarot Village bicycle. No.
Well, I do have the handlebar mustache. And I'm done. 2 drink minimum, tip your servers. I'm here all weekend.
Hi, Joe. Welcome to Lovely to
Joe.
See you here. I think that's everyone. If I've missed anyone, I do apologise. I'll catch up with you in a minute. So,
I'm going to sneeze.
You're going to sneeze?
I'm going to sneeze. But now I'm not because I said it.
Should we all watch you just in case you go? Would you sneeze live on air? Would you turn your camera off? What would you do?
I would probably turn my camera off. I'd probably leave the stream and run away in embarrassment.
And I would have to hold up both cards. It would just be a disaster by you sneezing.
It would be, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Listen to this.
Hi, Valerie. Welcome.
Hi, Valerie.
Okay, so let's start by talking about reversals. Let's talk about that first, Joe. Do you read reversals? And if so, why? How do you do it? And if not, why not?
I do not read reversals. And I don't because 78, the meaning of 78 cards is hard enough. Multiply that by 2. 156 meanings can be a bit challenging. Thank you. And with that, I also... I will. I will when I look at a spread and where cards are, then I will understand the well, because all of the meanings, reversed or not reversed, are in the card,
Mm.
regardless of how you do it, and it's the card surrounding it. It's the
Yeah.
context how to do it. But I have cards that have obvious things that are with reversals like these,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the 5 cent tarot
Yeah.
that has oppositions or
They're
reversal
nice to use,
meanings.
aren't they? I mean, I never have dabbled with reversals. However, saying that, if a card jumps out or starts screaming at me that it needs to be reversed or it's landed reversed, I do take notice of that. And I
I
do.
do as well.
So I've started to, I don't want to sit and learn, as you say, another 78 meanings, but I'm taking my own perspective, my own intuition on there. And I just kind of think, what's the energy of that reversal mean? So is it a slower energy? Is it a blocked energy? Is it an obstacle? What nuance is it adding? What's a good word? Nuance. What nuance is it adding to the reading, to the card? So that's how I take it, and I'm sure, that, as you say, that's what you build into the reading as you go.
I like that too. And it is about the nuances,
Yeah.
especially for me as an individual pulling cards for myself. If the same card keeps showing up, then it is time for me to consider what the reverse meaning could be, or how do I balance that?
Because the reverse meaning doesn't always mean the absolute opposite, even though we're looking at something called the Tower of Oppositions. In fact, it very rarely means that to
Correct.
many people. It's about how it adapts, how it changes. You're right with that one there. So let's have a look at some cards. Before we start, though, if anybody would like us to show some cards from the deck, we'll do both of them together. Just put it in the chat and we'll hold those ones up. We've got, how many cards? We've got about 20 possibly to show if we get through them all, something like that.
Yes, we can say we have 20 because I showed Richie. I was like, when I was pulling them, and I showed the pile, and I had put some of them upright, and I'm like, I have a lot of cards that are interesting comparing the two. So, well, either that or I am an overcomplicator.
Well,
wow.
as I say, pop it into chat if we don't get to show your card or you want to see one, just let us know. And if I miss it, just remind me, and we'll hold them up and we can have a look at them. So we're going to have a general discussion about it. Hello, I just seen Calla come in. Hi, Calla Lily. Hello, welcome to you. Anyone else that's popped in? Where are we going to start then, Mr. G?
I would tag Chris Elemental Cartomancer because he would like to see the Lovers and the Devil.
Oh, okay. I'm going to star you. I'm going to make you a star, Chris, for later on. I don't think either of those are the ones that we picked, but perhaps we'll do that. We'll have a little break in a moment and we'll do, audience choice or something like that.
Do you want to do majors first?
Should we do some majors first and then we'll get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we did is we kind of went through the deck and kind of pulled out. Well, I looked at the Tower of Oppositions and kind of thought that's interesting. And then I kind of went through and sort of found the counterpart to it in there. So should we start with the Magician?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do the Magician. So I should say the card stock. What's your card stock like for your Tower of Oppositions?
Fine. It's a Los Scarabeo.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's a little shiny. Here's the backs.
Did you find it was a bit sticky?
When I got it initially, but then I had spent time shuffling.
Yeah.
So,
the back tells you which way up the card goes. So if you see, you've got the brighter part of the sun and a darker part of the sun. The darker part's the negative or the reversed, however we're going to call it. I don't quite know. We'll work that out as we go. Whereas this one, I think, is just a complete.
I think so.
Okay, so my card stock is Llewellyn. This is out of print, I think, actually, this deck. But there are lots of copies.
Oh.
I think it's out of print. Perhaps someone, if they find it. It turns up on eBay quite a lot. It was published in 2005, I think, and this is a 2016 edition. So, you know, I tend to go for about 30, 40 pounds for this one now. So let's go for it. So you get the gist of how these cards work. We have a bit like in a normal playing card suit, the court cards in there have that kind of joined at the middle, upside downness. Well, here you have an upright and you have the reversed, so you can read them either way. It's obviously a bit clearer on the Revelations which way up is. You kind of get the choice, don't you? But the Oppositions one that you've got clearly has a darker side and a lighter side, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we talk about these ones then, Gerald?
Yeah. So yeah. What was it about this that you found interesting and the comparison between the two?
Well, I like the way that the magician is portrayed in both versions as a slightly. You've got the upright one, which is the normal kind of hard, I say hard-working, the channeled magician, like you've got there. He's very traditional to the RWS there. Yeah, you know, and he's got his staff, his wand in his hand. You know, his hands are doing the traditional up and down like the lightning conductor. Even in this one, he's kind of doing it here. And I like that. And then when you get the reverse of that one, you get something that's a little bit darker, a little bit out of control. I feel that my magician, is kind of, he's staring at what's happening in that cup. The lemniscate above him doesn't look quite so bright. He looks a little bit like he's not quite sure what's going on, or things are a little bit out of control. That's how I feel about this one.
And I would say he is. I put mine away, but I am looking at it for pulling it out. But in the Revelations, and I think he in this one in particular, in the Terror of Oppositions, he looks distracted and not and he is not focused.
Yeah.
And in that there's the energy is gone wonky.
Yeah. It's gone off, isn't it? It feels like, yeah, as you said, wonky's good. Also, the one you've got in the Tower of Oppositions there, there's a bit of a darker feeling to that one. He feels a bit more like a kind of sideshow performer, or a bit of a mountebank, a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for?
He's not to be trusted.
Yeah, not quite legit, I think, is probably how I feel. You know, he's doing his magic. Has he got dice in his hands in that one? I think he's got a pair of dice, hasn't he?
Yes, he does. And I like how the sword in the Opposition is curved.
Yeah.
So sort of like everything is a little wavy.
Yeah. And also you get this lovely background with all the roses have died and everything's just sort of thorny and you know, compared to the other ones. And this happens a lot in the Tower of Oppositions. You get a lovely rich background, and then the reverse of it is darker, more shadower.
And in the Revelations, it certainly is. It is a very colorful card.
Yeah.
And with all of the Revelations tarot, it's much more artistically done.
Yeah.
And less structured, because you can tell which is which. Whereas this one, it's sort of, well, which way is that?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I just noticed this magician's kind of got like a mask on. Sorry, I can't do opposite on this camera. He looks like he's got like almost like a Greek helmet or something. He got his eye sockets looking through. So it's a bit more ritualistic as well, what's going on there. You get a kind of sense of one of these, you know, like Mayan priests or Aztec
Very
priests
ceremonial.
going on
Yes.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got all that lovely greenery still behind. So it's interesting they've both gone for this kind of slightly wild, off-kilter reverse of it, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that works quite well with the magician as a let's use the word nuance again. That slightly reverse, that energy that is not. It's a bit wild. It's a bit stormy. It's a bit erratic, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is not controlled, and yeah, the power is. I wouldn't say lessened. It
No.
is altered. It's the focus goes a little darker.
Yeah.
So
Got some lovely conversations going on already. Lisa's going full screen. Wow. Okay.
ooh.
And you're right. That's what I was trying to say. He looks like a snake oil salesman. Yeah, on that
Mm-hmm.
one there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Liz says more sort of like the Tarot de Marseille magician, where he's half the street juggler and find the pea under the three cups. Absolutely, yeah. I love that element to the magician as well that comes at.
Mm-hmm.
In Tarot of Oppositions, the magician looks like a charlatan, says Ellie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, oh, Gerald has both. I should have known. I have the Tarot of Oppositions. We've both got both.
Yes. Hashtag tarot collector.
Is there anything else you would like to say about the magician, Gerald?
Actually, no. I think we've done that quite
Can we
well.
have a go on one of Chris's cards in a moment? Oh yes, go do your limit.
Know your limits. Purchase responsibly. We are not encouraging you to do something that you cannot afford.
Absolutely. So Chris wanted to have a look at the Lovers and the Devil. Shall we do? Because neither of those we pulled out is actually one. Should we do those ones now?
Yeah.
So let's do Lovers first. I have to think where I've put them in for a moment.
Yeah, if you could see our tables.
See what's going on down here, Chris. I'll tell you. Yeah. And I pull Find the Devil. Oh, I love the Devil card actually in the Revelations. Okay.
You doing the Lovers first or the?
I'm going to do the Lovers first. So,
and I think with this, it's one of those things that I have to. I'm going to get the Lovers out in the Revelations
and rotate. Oh, that's quite dark, isn't it, when you look at it that way?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he's got bat wings around him. The angel's gone from being winged. Still looks a bit scary, actually, that angel, doesn't it? But we've gone into almost devil-like. There's like a star or a pentagram behind him on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just having a closer look at it. Oh yeah, the lovers are wrapped around each other, but almost in fear, I would say. There.
Yeah, definitely in fear instead of a partnership.
Yeah.
Like in the rotate, in the opposites, in the, what do you want to call that? The upright position or the lighted one.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting for this is the lovers are separated in the Tarot of Oppositions. They are not. You have one on each side, so you don't actually see the lovers together as themselves. If that. Whereas we get basically here we have 4 lovers.
Yeah. 2 angels.
Yeah, and here we have one on one side and one on the other.
So the snake is obviously it's Adam and Eve. The snake is slithering towards Eve in the upright and reversed. Just trying to what's happening on the reverse one.
Well, and on the reverse, perhaps the snake took the
moving off
the
from
fruit
it's done
from
its
took the fruit from Adam and is going to the other side. So we're not necessarily talking about blame, but
no,
it's just it's an interesting interaction between between the two.
I love it. It reminds me a little bit like the Sistine Chapel, you know, when you have the finger of God pointing at one.
Yes.
It's got that element on it. What about the angels? I noticed Calla says, I like the angels on the Tower of Opposition. So the one in the reverse is quite dark, isn't it? In the
Yeah, the
sky.
one and it's much more vengeful,
Yeah.
I would
It's
say,
almost
and
like
then
it's gone from being an angel almost to like an image of God, actually, hasn't it? It's got, you know.
yeah, yes, in the
Wow.
creation of Adam. So
Yeah. So let's go back to this one again. I think what's really lovely about both these cards, if anyone's ever tried to read with these, they're not as difficult as they may appear because your eye instantly goes to the top half of the card. And because you can't really necessarily work out what's happening, you can't see it properly, you kind of ignore it. Your brain ignores it. So if if you're thinking, oh, that looks a bit confusing, if I hold it up there, you can see hopefully
sort
that,
of does that.
your brain goes to the top half, and that's where you focus on. There you go, Chris. I hope that's
Yeah.
that's it. Pepper Jackie. Hello, Pepper Jackie. Before and after the fall of Eden, absolutely. And Deb says the 70s feminist in me is a little put off by that imagery. Yeah. Lisa's asking, how is the guidebook for the Tower of Oppositions? Does it explain the artwork?
I'm pulling it out right now. See if I can find that. It's a low Scarabeo, so part of it is in other languages.
Yeah. That comes in the booklets like that. It's in very thin print, so I'm having to do my looking over the top of my glasses for it.
It doesn't exactly talk about the artwork.
No.
It
has a positive and a negative. I'm just trying to line that up. Sorry.
It does say in the introduction, the harmony of opposites.
Yeah.
The artistic premise at the core of the Tower of Oppositions allows the reader to embrace the spiritual law that connects what is above and what is below, and what is positive to what is negative. And it also says, for the sake of clarity, we refer to the two halves of the card as positive and negative, and there is no judgment implied. And at the center of each card is a liminal space where the two polarities dialogue, often allowing the passage of objects, symbols, and energies from one extreme to the other. So there's where we have that. I like how that's described.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the liminal space.
Yeah.
So.
Ellie just says the pictures in the Revelations are quite small for my taste. They are. That's one of the reasons I enjoy the artwork of it, but I do find myself going towards Tower of the Oppositions to do these readings with, because just to try and look at some of the differences is quite hard in some of the cards, particularly when they've got darker backgrounds going on. Yeah, it's just a bit easier with the Tower of Oppositions, but you're right, but they are still very beautiful illustrations in many cases. It reminds me a little bit of the broken mirror, the Revelation.
It does. It does, yes.
Kind of fracturedness of it all. And Sandra says, yes, I agree with Ellie there. Should we do the devil while we're here as well?
Absolutely.
I love the devil card in this one. Okay, so that's the devil upright. Interesting choice for the Tower of Oppositions for the portrayal of the devil. And spinning. So that's quite a Well, let's talk about these two. Should we talk about the Revelations one first? I love the
Sure.
devil here for his rather laid back, slightly camp kind of leaning on a pile of money, smoking a cigarette from a
Yep.
long cigarette holder. I like that. And his kind of Mephistopheles kind of moustache that he's got. So actually, I think he's quite a character here. And you can actually understand he's got that devilish charm that kind of would draw you in, and you go, oh, he looks quite an interesting character. Well, let's see what he's got to say. So I just like that portrayal
Right.
of him. And in the background, we've got his palace, which looks like he's on fire there. Upright on yours, you have a kind of sphinx-like devil.
Mm-hmm. It's much more of a messenger rather than a taunt or
Yeah.
temptation. It's like there is a lesson going on that we would have gotten in Sunday school, and the person is listening quite intently for enlightenment.
Yeah. And the pentacle is the right way up as well over her head.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually looking at the back, and it is the correct way. Yeah. So this is the positive, as they said.
Yeah. It's almost that Garden of Eden setup again, isn't it?
Yes.
It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, let's turn them over then. This is a little bit harder to see what's going on. I'm going to have to take a glance of it. But we have a kind of muscled devil in a more traditional kind of way that you may suspect him to be seen. The palace behind is, try and get that to focus, is being, struck by lightning. There's lots of flames around him. And you notice that there's people tied to the treasure. It reminds me a bit of the Robin Hood devil.
Yes, where there's no image of a devil. It's just they are fighting against themselves. They're chained to themselves.
Yeah. What do you have for your reverse devil there, Gerald?
Well, in here we see the devil actually. They're both chained. They're chained to each other, and it's definitely more bat wing like than angel wing like or feathery. And the sky is dark. It's like a scene from Constantine where he goes into hell. It's like this. It's like, boom, okay. And there's no eye contact.
No.
He's looking down. And what's interesting is the devil is looking down at the man here, but in this way, the devil is looking actually out.
Yeah.
But
just
eyes are closed.
I'm going to put us both on the spot here. What do you think this reversed meaning would be? If you saw these two cards, how would you interpret that, perhaps compared to the upright version? If you don't want to answer, please feel free not to, but I thought I would.
I would actually say this is a very good question. If I were to get this up, it is you are in the throes of the temptation, and that's all you can see. Yeah. You're in the midst of it. You're caught up in all of the drama and the temptation. Whereas this one, you are stepping away, or you're using it as a way to understand and be enlightened. This one, you're still caught up in it.
Yeah. For this one, I would say it's quite similar, actually. I'd say, you're getting, you're being attracted to those, or you're being made aware of the attraction of those things that may not be doing you particularly good, or those things, the temptation is there, as you suggested. The thought of perhaps doing those things that cause addictions, or the things that get us excited, they look wonderful and tempting and like that. once you get into that one, it's the muscle. You're in it. It's no good being on the outside of it. You're caught up in that addiction. You're there already. So this is almost a bit of a warning, as this is your last chance to step away before it turns into that.
Yes, and I notice here, the female here still has a chain, but it's actually hooked to the tree.
Oh yeah.
Whereas in the reverse, it's hooked to the devil's ankle or his foot. So there's that. The other thing that I noticed in the Revelations is this devil is looking straight out.
Yeah.
And this devil is looking up like it's like, God, why do you make me do this? Yeah.
Destruction. And yes, I got what I wanted. Yeah. Now you're mine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. This is still the temptation and the, welcoming the fly to the web.
Yeah. Deb says they are both interesting. Chris says Oppositions has the man on the dark side on both. I think I prefer Rich's deck. Thank you, Chris. No choices here. You're entitled to enjoy both of them. Jackie's asking, there we go. Along the bottom, Pepper, we've got, I'm doing the Revelations Tarot. Let's show the box again. So that's the one by Zach Wong. And Chris.
Hi, I'm Gerald. Nice to meet you, Richie.
Hi, Gerald. You can tell it's Friday, can't you? And Gerald is doing the Tarot of Oppositions there.
Yep. So
Deb says that's the kind of gentler devil. Yep. Kathleen says, I was just running around the house looking for my glasses. Of course, they're on the top of my head. Ain't that just like the devil?
Liz.
Lisa's asking, I wonder why the male figure is on the darker side of both cards. It's curious. Yeah. And Deb's wondering that one too. And Pepper's suggesting that the light side being lured in and the dark, you are caught up in the net.
Ooh, that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's life in the Tower of Oppositions upright. In the other side, the landscape is dead. Yeah, that landscape is often dark and dead and destroyed. Yeah. Yeah. Yin and yang, says Valerie. Yeah.
Very wise, yes.
Hello to anyone that's joined us. Sorry if I've missed you coming in. We're in the middle of going through this. Chris, thank you for suggesting those two. If anyone else would like us to have a little hold up of some cards, just put it into the chat and we'll do our best. Go on, Joe. Would you pick which one you'd like to go and have a wander through now? What would you like to do?
Let's do the High Priestess.
Okay. I'll have to find her. Of course, I never put them in order, did I? And it's at this point you find that's the card that's fallen out and gone under the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Did I put it out earlier? I'm just wondering.
You may have pulled it out earlier.
Is it in the other pile? Let's have a little look. Oh, now they've all scattered everywhere. I can't seem to find it. Never mind. Let me have another look through this. It might have gone into another pile. Let's see. If not, you might need to hold yours up. I'll have another look.
I have both of them.
Empress, Fool, Hanged Man, Emperor, World, High Priestess. Very cool. It doesn't look like the High Priestess at first glance. That's why I couldn't see it. Okay, here we go.
Right.
So, High Priestess.
And what I found very interesting is, as I was looking at this, what is it about? I like how they're both around the crescent moon, which is an important thing. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But the High Priestess, it's just one of these things. In this one, okay, let's flip it.
Let's flip.
Her ankles are tied. And she's it feels like she's wearing big bracelets, and she is sitting in a very different way. She does not have the scroll.
She's showing a bit of leg there, isn't she?
She is showing a bit of leg, or a lot of leg.
That's normally
that case.
The other one. Yeah, skirts.
So in the
Yeah.
In the upright, in the tarot of oppositions, she feels more inviting and more comfortable, whereas this way she's not happy.
No. No.
And she's like, well, there you go.
And I think with this one, because of the pillars that they've kept, obviously, as the black and white one in that order, it really feels like a darker reflection, a shadow reflection that's going
Yes.
on with this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to
And
know.
the high priestess is a lot about secrets, of course.
Yeah.
But it feels like these are secrets that could be revealed. Good luck trying to get her to reveal any secret to you.
Yeah.
So
I like the reversed. I like both the images on this one, actually. The blues are gorgeous, the blues and purples in there. If we keep them as they are, Gerald, because you've got the reverse one up there. The upright one is a very kind of traditional. She's actually holding her hand up, sort of saying, stop, here I am. I've come to do my high priestess thing. There are characters sort of with their arms raised in the background there. And there's a good sense of air moving around with these parts of her clothing or cloak being whipped up. But with your one, with the reverse, there's a massive, I get this sense of, how the Pythia priestesses of Greece used to breathe in that smoke and all the vapors. I get a real sense of that's what's happening with that priestess. It's almost like she's gone into a complete trance and she's doing her stuff and her hands are waving around and she's, again, slightly out of control, but she's gone really deep into herself. And there's almost not necessarily a lack of control, but anything could happen. That's how I feel with that one there.
And looking at both of them, because those are both great aspects of the high priestess. I would never want to piss a high priestess off, to be honest with you, because there's the kindness about it, but then there's the fury, the righteous anger, and that's something to pay attention to, and those are equally important. And in this one, she's willing to hold court and willing to have a conversation. Down here, she ain't having a conversation. She's telling you exactly what to do because she knows what best. And it's much more. This is a much more primitive because I'm noticing she is barefoot. She has shoes on. So
the crowns are different as well, aren't they? She's got almost a kind of traditional headdress. It's got the moon phase in there. That one looks a bit more like a kind of Egyptian Cleopatra kind of headdress. That's how I would interpret it. And I think that's more of a sun. Looks like a sun symbol.
And this is a moon.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. People put that deck in order. No. It was as organized as I could manage. Fran says, High Priestess cards, love them. And Valerie said, it's, can't speak, obsessed versus achieved. I love that. I love that. An unhappy hookerish High Priestess. And Lisa says, opened and closed off. Oh, Jane the Seeker's here. How did I miss this notification? Hi, everyone. Welcome. Liz says, I love to get your view on the Six of Swords. Okay, we'll do that one in a moment there. So there. Is there anything else you'd like to say about our HP?
No, actually, I think we said it all.
If you know this or anyone else in chat would know, because both of these, if you reverse them, you've got the moon that way up. Does that have a specific meaning at all when the crescent moon's upside down?
One is a waxing and one is a waning. And waxing means it's growing into a full moon, and
but
waning
normally
means
it goes side to side. The kind of if only I had small little hands, I could show you. But aren't they a bit like that? I didn't know they went up and down like that.
Are you talking, they
Yeah.
go like this instead of like this?
Yeah, exactly.
He asked for it,
Beautifully
people.
demonstrated. I don't know if that has a specific meaning when the moon is kind of hanging.
Well, sometimes when I see the moon, I will sometimes, it's like, oh, it's like Artemis's bow.
Yeah.
So there's
That reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the film The Ring. It's a bit like when they're sealing off the well at the top and they're putting the stone across it, and that's kind of what you get with the person shut in a well. That's just me reacting to that film. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Gerald's got his little hands out there. Okay, should we do Six of Swords then for Liz?
Yes.
In fact, that was one we were going to talk about, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I am actually putting this back just in case somebody wants to see it later. Did you hear that, Chris? I'm actually putting that back.
I'm just going to drop more and more on the floor as I go. That's how it's going to be, Chris. So sorry if that upsets you at all. I might even jumble the two decks together. Could you imagine that?
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is one that I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah. Let's make sure this one's the right way up.
So
your Tower of Oppositions has caused a little bit of comments on the internet, I know, about the Six of Swords. Shall we go the other way?
I have missed that comment on the interwebs about the Six of Swords.
Okay.
What was said?
It wasn't a particularly popular image that was chosen there. And I can't really remember why. Perhaps I don't think it's actually, has got a couple of swords? I mean, I think there are 6 swords still in the in the
1,
artwork
2, the 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So there's 2 on the liminal space.
I think that sunset or sunrise, depending how you want to look at it, is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely gorgeous. How do you feel about the reversed one with the smashed up boat?
See, this is why I picked this one, is because I hadn't really thought about the 6. What happens when you get to the other side? When you have arrived, it can feel like you're beaten up and you're just ready to move on. So for me, it very much is. It doesn't bother. It's interesting that there are no figures in this one.
No.
In the reversed. So for me,
in the other one, you've just got the boatman, haven't you? You don't got the other people that would normally be sitting in the boat.
Yes.
So it's. Ask yourself what's happening with that one there. Sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
No, it's one where I it's like, this is what happens after the storm. You go onto the beach and the shore, and you see what's left and what has been what has come up on shore, and so it's much more a feeling of no control or it being done. Where this one, there is that sense of connection where there is some guidance to it, and that can actually help make people feel better.
Yeah.
During an important transition like this is.
Perhaps you could argue that the boat there is showing that however you move on and get away from in that transition, the past never fully relegates itself into the past. There's always those things there, perhaps. I'd love to know what other people thought of this one, because it has caused, as I said, quite a lot of comments.
Oops. I was
You're doing a lovely job. I mean, we're doing a hard job. We're doing Tower of Opposition in a camera that's doing everything the opposite way. I mean, we're doing this marvelously. Can I just say, everyone? It's not.
And it's
Deb says it's not only wrecked, it's abandoned.
That's true. And that's good too, because I think with Deb is as you're saying, sometimes it feels like there is a higher power who is directing us or helping us in the 6, and other times it's like, I have no idea what the heck is going on. I'm awash on this strange boat, and I have no idea where I'm going.
What do we think about the two swords being out, or at least one sword being out the boat, stuck in the sand? That could be interpreted different ways, couldn't it?
It could. I actually think it's the person who's gotten off the boat and said, excuse my language, God damn it. This sucks, or it's the I claim victory to have reached the other side. This is mine now.
Yeah. Or I've done my fighting, I don't need this anymore.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So
Ellie says, sorry, the jumps there. The boat is so demolished you can't use it to get away.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. You literally not burnt all your bridges, but yeah, that whole the boats are burnt kind of thing.
Yeah.
The interpretation.
Well, and in this one, the Revelations, if I may jump in this,
no,
everything
do.
is, you know, here we have, this is one of the reasons that I love the Revelations Tarot. Artistically, this is a really engaging image. And it's also an engaging image for the Six of Swords, because sometimes there's clarity that we're going through. But here,
yeah,
I can't see because I'm so caught up in it, or
yeah.
I am actually crying so much that everything looks like ripples. And that can be really challenging. And where this person here is not actually looking forward, whereas this one is the one on the positive side. It's there's some movement, but this is caught up in the reflection and what's going on. It's like, okay. And again, I think it goes back to the idea of how are you feeling about this transition and this movement? Are you feeling like you're having help, or is it just complete hysteria? And those are really scary things.
Yeah. The good thing about this as well, which I've only just realized by holding it up, is that you're looking at the boat from two different directions. So the upright one, you're in the air looking down on the boat going forward,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that light on the prow. I'm not very good with my boat term. The bit at the front. On the reverse, it's almost like you're underwater looking up at the surface, through the surface, at the person who's looking behind them, almost in a scared, I'm getting away, but are they following me?
And isn't that interesting? Six or swords are about thought, word, and deed, and the mind, but we're caught up in the water in this, and this is a real impact of the emotions and what the emotions are doing. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Let's go and have a quick through there. So the two sword uprights and the two makes me think he is fighting his or her way out. I think we're talking about the boat, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Deb says the deck makes you think. It feels like it's meant to challenge your traditional thinking. It certainly does that. And that's one of the joys of these decks, is that, well, as with most tarot, you kind of often reinterpret it. But this one really forces you to go and rethink what you know and see what you can.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie says, were the swords used to destroy the boat so it can't be used anymore? Oh, Deanne's here. Hello, lovely. And Tony's here as well. Hello there. Even which decks are we on? We're doing both together here, Tony. So we're doing the Revelations and the Tower of Opposition. So,
and it's scrolling at the bottom.
It's scrolling through. And Chris says, hello, hot mama. Calla, looking and moving forward. Looking and moving towards the future versus focusing on the reflections of the past. I love that. Absolutely.
That's well said.
Jiang says, I would actually read reversals with these. My agreement with my cards is that they tell me everything right side up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the joy of one of these. I mean, I'm not here to push these decks down people's throats, but I have obviously got both. I use the Tower of Oppositions, and it has really opened the field up when I use it. And it's not been hard work. It's just interesting to go with that intuitive flow on that one. So would recommend it.
What's interesting is you do this, but then you also do this and how they go. But then you could also do this to see how they interact.
Yeah.
Hashtag overcomplicator.
I've got too much going on. I can't put that up again. If anyone new interest wants to see us compare some cards, let us know. Put it in chat and we can dig some out for you. Right, I think we're done. That was a good one, the Six of Swords. I like that one. Should we take a moment to have a sip as Deanne is here?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lively can of Coke there. It's just gone over the cap. Poor Basil.
So long as it's not on the cards.
Yeah, as long as it's not over the cards. Backyard Naturalist is here. Hello there. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's evening. It's afternoon with you, Gerald, isn't it?
It is.
And Jane would like us to show the Eight of Swords, which was one that we were going to show, wasn't it?
Yes, let's do it.
Because I love the Tower of Opposition's Eight of Swords. Okay.
You know, Richie, I have a thought this with the idea of liminal space. Isn't that cross-quarter time?
Ooh. Yes.
You get what I'm putting down there, don't you? So, okay, I can move that one.
I hear you.
Okay.
Right, Eight of Swords, upright. And reverse. Interesting.
Just in looking at these, these images are opposite.
Yeah.
From each other, whereas that way up, she is. Look at me. That way up, I'm pointing. That way up.
Which way
that
up?
Way, that way up. She is. She's releasing, or they are releasing, and in this one, they're still bound.
Yes. Let's do this one first, shall we? So upright, we have a pretty traditional Eight of Swords, bound, blindfolded. Great sense of air in this. I love the fact that the sky or the background's all purple. There is a real sense here that the Eight of Swords is, or the swords at least, are all surrounding her. Yeah, I'm assuming it's female. Yeah, I think it's female. The cords are really cutting in tight. Yeah, it feels very uncomfortable. When we reverse, I love it because the blindfold's off. The ropes are looser, but also there's a sense that she's almost picked these swords up and put them in a bag behind her back, and it's like, right, I'm no longer playing the victim. I'm off to go and sort some shit out. Basically, that's how I feel about it. There's a real sense of purpose and drive, and I'm no longer being a victim.
Yes, there is a true sense of, I am now in control, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm taking no prisoners.
Which is a wonderful way of looking at the Eight of Swords, because, you know, it does have that quite negative load to it, if you want to take it that way, as an upright on a traditional one. This is just, well, it's a revelation, isn't it?
Ooh, snap. There you go.
Let's do your one.
Well, and in this one, as this is the positive, the person is out of the chair.
Oh, the rope is on the chair there.
The rope is on the seat. So, and reverse, the person is still tied down, tied and caught up in that. So I would actually say this is the way I would initially want to see it, because of the traditional meaning.
Yeah.
But this way is how it's intended to be upright. were
They're almost the
positive.
opposite of the two, aren't they?
Yes,
Whereas,
exactly.
the
Exactly.
upright here is the traditional, and there's a freedom in the reversal. That's, also that's quite an alarming image, the person tied in the chair, because
Yes.
the walls all battered, the plaster's coming off. It really
Right.
feels like this person's been through the mill.
Yeah, and
And
even the foot is tied, so
it's not a pleasant image.
not a pleasant. But with the positive side, the person is out of that, and
Yeah.
which of course you could actually look at it and say, okay, the Eight of Swords comes up, you are no longer there, and be careful not to go back into that old thought process or thinking of those things.
Yeah.
It's very intriguing.
Just noticed, Tony, there is, I think it's Tony said, there is a head. They have got a head. I think their head slumped forward on that one.
Yes, the head is slumped forward.
Yeah. So it's slumped forward. So that's why you can't, doesn't look like you can see it there. And she said, you pair, no, I do not want these decks. Purchase responsibly. And then Candy's here. Hello, Candy. Great to see you back in the world with internet and happy to catch you live. Lovely to have you.
Yay.
And hello, Ange, too, as well. And Ange just come in. Lovely
Ange.
to see you here. So, anyone else, I hope I haven't missed you. Anything else to say about R8?
I find it. This is why I pulled it out, because they were opposite of how they contradicted each other.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's how it feels. It's like, well, that's interesting. So
let's take a sip. It's so nice to have so many people here. Yeah, we'll have a look at some aces in a moment. Nice to see everyone.
It is not a woman, yes.
And Chris says, is that person not wearing any clothes below the waist? No.
No.
And that's what makes that darker, that picture, I think.
Yes.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've not always had a problem with the Eight of Swords, but having that reversed, it's you wouldn't want that coming up in a reading, would you?
No.
And James,
well, I wouldn't.
Yeah, and James says, I love that it's not the usual woman that we have there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a Pepsi. And they are completely naked. The chair back looks like a top. Sorry, yeah. Okay, should we show some aces then? I've just lost the. I put it in there. That's why it's not there. Lisa wants to have a look at some aces. Okay, should we do the Ace of Swords first, because that was one on our.
Yes.
Choice.
Yes.
I have to say, I think the aces on the Revelations, although the illustrations are lovely, I don't know if it does that much for me as a reversed one on there, I have to say. I mean,
yeah.
Here, I suppose you could argue you're being handed the sword and you've got the crown of victory there. And I don't know what that is, a tiara or something around it. Whereas reversed, it's pointing at you.
Mm-hmm.
I think your one though, Gerald, does speak an awful lot. I love the fact that where do we start? You've got that strong hand smashing through the ground. You've got these wonderful crystals growing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reversal is that the blade is battered, broken, and the hand is having to grasp it through the edge of it there. And you've got this kind of, you still got a wasteland in both of them, but it's sharp, the wasteland on the reverse when you've got pointed anthills and rocks and stuff, whereas there it's a bit more.
Yeah. And in this way, this one is much more, was it offensive? And this one defensive? Don't ask me, it's a sports reference. One, This one is in control, and this one is trying to grasp at something. And they're both coming out of the clouds, so nod to the traditional RWS. So.
I love how the sword's being plunged in. There's that real sense of here's the power. You know, it's a bit like...
Yes.
I'm assuming it's being plunged in and not being pulled out.
It's a good point.
You know, is it a bit like the old Excalibur thing? I don't know. But which then means the other arm perhaps is holding it back down. I don't know. Ooh.
It's very interesting.
There's so much energy in the Ace of Swords. And Lisa says he's grabbing the blade on the reverse. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, and this one, it's all shiny, bright and shiny. And here it's, as you said, it's worn. And it's not rusted, but it is worse for wear.
Yeah. I think I said there's a lot of energy in that one there.
It really is.
Backyard Naturalist says very the truth hurts. I love that. And yeah, they're grabbing at the point of the sword. Yeah.
Yes,
Chris is asking, how do people read reverse aces? I think for me, it's like an opportunity that isn't taken anywhere, a missed opportunity. Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning, sort of how people interpret reverses, and it's either slower energy, for me, obstacles, blockages, that kind of thing, missed opportunities. So that's how
I like that. I like what he said. It's that missed opportunity.
Yeah. There's a circle of standing stones in the upright. Is that right?
I don't think so. It's just sort of a wasteland.
I love those crystals coming out of it, though.
Yes. Well, and I like the crystals coming out of this one, too.
Oh, I didn't see those ones. Yeah, they're dark.
So, yeah, they're crystals coming out from both. It's just one is, and perhaps what this one is as a look, this one, it's the control. I have plunged it in, and this one is well, now you can't take back what you've done.
Yeah.
You no longer are in control of that. You have already put that into action, and hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yes, other way around. I do like that, Gerald. That's a very nice way of putting it. Should we do another ace? Which one should we do? What would you like to do?
How about the Ace of Wands?
Ace of Wands. See, I could find that one. I didn't need to put those in order. Okay, again, I've got... Oh, look at the fire in that. As it should be. And it says... Ooh, it says something around that. I'm going to have to look that up, what that is. Yeah, so there's your Ace of Wands there, reversed. It's just a reverse wand there. But again, your deck there, Gerald, has a totally different story. Do you mind just talking about it? I'm just going to look up to see what that writing was around it, the Ace of Wands, see if it's...
I don't mind.
Over to you for a second.
Well, in this one, while I like the fieriness of an Ace of Wands, I truly like that. I don't have that sense of fieriness in this Ace of Wands.
No.
And instead, what I have is someone who is, and again, trying to do something with it, but down here, it's... Yeah, if I were holding a wand like that, I would be going in opposite directions. Yeah. So doing this, here I am doing this, I am moving forward. Maybe I'll do this, but I'll do it under the cloak of darkness. And the two of them together, I struggle with this one, to be honest with you, because it is so... It is it's a conflicting feel with those two hands.
Yeah.
I struggle with that.
When you covered that up, what was interesting, I got a sense of somebody climbing a tree, climbing a branch that way, and that way that climb is dangerous. That's going to lead to a fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Loving
What'd you find out about this one?
It does say here, I've got to try and pronounce some Latin now. Adflatus, Adflatus, means breath or inspiration.
Ah.
The breath of fire, the inspirational flame. And the scroll unfurls as the power of the stone embedded in the wand erupts, causing the energy around it to illuminate. The wand represents the birth of raw energy and creation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the book to this is amazing because actually it's just really well written, but actually doesn't waffle on when it could do quite easily. Let's have a look what people have said.
So I just, to be honest with you, I struggle with this image. I'm like going, really? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the ones in the suit are about people climbing or journeying, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could talk about this now, actually, because I pulled it out as one to have a look at. Was it the 2 of Wands or the 3 of Wands? I can't remember. Perhaps we can have a look at that in a moment, as that's a nice link to it. But that's about climbing and everything there. Lisa says, I'm watching on my desktop, the 25-inch screen. They're really beautiful. Yeah. James gone big screen as well. Chris says, if you think of the aces as showing the potential of the whole suit, I think Gerald's card is beautiful. On one hand, it shows the potential for growth and beauty. On the other, the potential for destruction. Lovely.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Very nice. Okay, let's have a little look at the 2.
The 2 of what? Huh?
2 of Wands. I think it was the 2 of Wands. I can't remember.
Or are we doing more aces?
I was just going to do that because the 2 is about, isn't that the one with someone climbing? Am I right on that one?
Please hold. Yes.
It is. So I just thought we'd talk about that one because that other one was leading in. Yeah. So again, and twisting.
Yeah, person's hanging.
Yeah.
Much more of a struggle.
That fits in very much with the ace, doesn't it? The whole idea of climbing up.
It does. And in fact, the whole in the suit of Wands, there's very much a lot of climbing or out in nature.
Journeying, yeah.
So
that's actually very unusual because it's very different from the RWS, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Just to show you what the 2 is for this one. I don't actually know what's happening in that one.
And to show it reversed.
I can't make out what's happening there.
Well, okay, in upright or in the positive, we are expanding our power, and in the reverse, we are retracting our power. We are condensing it. Maybe I'm channeling the quantum tarot or something like that.
Should we do cups next?
Yes.
And that's weird. Flatus means wind, where we get flatulence from. Anyway, it seems more like morphs of sorts. Yeah, you're right. I think yeah, it's that air, isn't it? Again, I actually really like the Ace of Cups in this card. I love the colours. And twisted.
I like how in that one it looks like the stem could be a twist of a tree or vine.
Yeah. Yeah, each the cups has got a kind of mermaid figure.
Yeah.
Which gives almost that little fish emblem that the cups often has in there as well.
Yeah, and there's in this one there's a person.
Yeah.
There's a figure. So
It's lovely. So we've got an overflowing cup that way around. Turn it upside down. The water's running out.
Yeah. I really like the image of the Terror of Oppositions.
Mm.
It is a very evocative. There's a sense of this way, we've all have held a glass and have picked it up from there. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the opposition of it is there's a sense of grasping at it and trying to and losing it as the cup has fallen over.
Yeah.
So I can get it from both of these.
Yeah.
However, this image in and of itself really, for me, sums it up. Are you going to give it away? Are you going to control your emotions? It's like, wow, that's an image that is saying a lot.
Yeah. I love the water lilies in the background as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I like how if I were to express and to feel all of my emotions, because I live in a society where men are not able to, it's not as acceptable for men to express their emotions.
Yeah.
And that feels very much like this. I'm grasping at it. Whereas if I were to take it and this is part of the power that I have, it can be beautiful and look at the rich landscape around it. And when I don't express them, when I don't hold that cup upright, this is what happens. Gerald got all deep and philosophical
There's
there
a
for a
deep
moment.
sense of dawn and dusk as well with those reversals.
Mm-hmm.
I get.
Yeah.
The cups glinting in the upright and dull and crusty cups in the reverse there.
Mm-hmm.
Carla says the water is almost trying to make it look like a desert, and I like how he is she grasping the cups. Yeah. Right, Pentacles then. Now this is a really unusual card for the Ace of Pentacles. It's because it's got a lot of cups. You haven't got just one coin. You've got loads. So it's...
Yes, that's where I was confused by that, Richie. I'm like going, okay, there are all the pentacles.
Okay, I don't know how many's there, but you could think that's the 10 of Pentacles quite easily there.
Yes.
And again, reversed, I don't know, does it do much for me? Possibly not. I don't suppose you can really do much with a reverse pentacle, to be honest with you, when it comes to this style. But your one, again, has got that wonderful...
Yeah. There's a sense of freely giving and a comfortable grasp on it, or comfortable holding. And this is a grasp, and it's dingy and is messy.
Yeah.
So...
And you've got a bee in the upright and a dragonfly.
Hashtag remove the comment.
In the reverse. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And again, that background of thorns and stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way the hands have been drawn in each of the 8 aces. So that there's that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And what is important to me as I think about this is, you are right, Gerald, we do. But for what it's worth, I've always found you an
inspiration. Yes.
Thank you. That means a lot. Now I'm getting emotional.
Don't cry.
Don't.
Get your fan out. Get your fan out. That's it. Hide behind it.
Well, it's... yeah. It is that time when... it's nice to know that something is helping, something that I've done or I'm doing is helping others.
Yes.
So, but, and I think...
I don't know a hashtag for that one.
You don't what? You don't know how to thank
for... hashtag for that one. I'll have to make one, won't I? Okay.
Oh, here, know your limits. But
Uh, there is desperation, the grasping of the hand. Absolutely.
yeah.
I've never noticed that all the hands are doing the same kind of thing in the aces. Yeah, yeah, all showing desperation. Yeah.
Well, and I think as an artist, oh, you know what?
Hmm.
I wonder if in the ace, um, I don't know. I think maybe it's the same hand and they just flipped it. It's a
Possibly.
curious thing. But I was just thinking that this, as an artist, it's really a challenge to get the hand to draw a hand so that it looks like what it's doing.
Yeah.
So this one actually looks like it's grasping, trying to get the edge of that
Yeah.
coin. So, and that we
Absolutely
can
right.
all
Yeah.
we've all done that.
It's not easy to get that in art. You know,
It is
as
not.
obviously I'm such an artist, I know that exists.
Well, of
But
course
you
you
know,
do.
but yeah, you're quite right to be able to look at that and go, I know exactly what it's doing, and to be able to compare them. It's yeah, absolutely. Hands are hard as a backyard naturalist. Yeah.
Hmm. So, I get what you're saying, Richie, because I was confused by this when I first saw it. I was like, going, "Wow, that's a 10." Okay, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's the ace, but I do like the pentacles on this.
Yeah. You
That's
can almost
some
hear
nice
the noise they're
detail.
making, aren't they? They've got this kind of nice
Yes,
buttony feel, like a military
yes.
button or something like that. Yeah. But I would have trouble. It doesn't tell me much of it reversed, unfortunately,
Mm-mm.
like the others do.
Yeah.
So. Oh, James gone for it. Just ordered the deck.
Oh, Jane. Uh,
Uh, good. She knew her limits. Good. We've got time to do a couple more. One I really would like to do, Gerald, is the tower. If you have
I
that
would
there.
like to do the tower as
The
well.
tower obviously has possibly one of the harder parts of the arcana to have to work with, because it does tend to come loaded with negativity. So
Hmm.
I want to have a look at how the reverse of that one may affect it, the nuance of it.
You better be writing that word down for when we play that game again. Nuance.
Well, you can just whip out any of these cards and you'll win, wouldn't you? Look, it's a nuance.
There you go. Okay, so we're showing the tower.
So again, tower. Now let's have a look. Wow. Okay.
I think both of these images are really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't make it out, in the middle of my one, there's a kind of whirlwind maelstrom that's blowing through there. It's actually, I mean, it looks, it's the tower, it's got the title on it, but actually, it's very unusual as a tower card because you don't literally have that upright building, do you? So,
Hmm.
and your one, fabulous, bit more
Hmm.
traditional, perhaps.
Yeah. What do you like about this tower?
Right. Okay. So, firstly, I like the fact that the light is popping out of the upright one. So let's talk about the tower first and just think. I would, as an upright card, think of it as a bit of a bolt out the blue, a bit something that you're not expecting. Not necessarily a disaster, but something that's going to shake you up and make you rethink
Hmm.
stuff and possibly have to build it up again from ground zero, that kind of thing. What about you? Would you have any other things to add to that?
No, that's
Mm.
actually,
That's
yeah,
pretty much it.
it's
So
something that's going to destroy everything that's above the surface, and ultimately it's going to leave you better off in the end,
yeah,
but in the midst of it, it's really hard to do. It's that, and oftentimes it is spiritual or core.
yeah.
It's that thing that, causes us to really struggle.
So both are being blasted. Well, I suppose mine is being blasted so that it's actually come apart. And yeah, it does look MC Escher-ish. I can't say the word MC Escher-ish there. When you reverse them, though, this hasn't just been exploded, it's been dismantled and it's been blown away by the look of things as well. That's how I would, one of the ways I would look at that one there. Your one, it looks like the lightning has struck a gunpowder cellar and blown the thing apart as well. So both of them have this element of not just a lightning bolt breaking down and doing damage, the negative or the reverse side of it, it's almost like it's something that's been sitting there that shouldn't be sitting inside the tower, like gunpowder. It's almost like you've had something sitting inside you and this spark has ignited it. It's almost like if you didn't have that gunpowder or that explosive issue inside you, you would have possibly got away a bit more lighter. I don't know. That's perhaps a take on it.
Yeah. And I think, visually, this is a stunning card. And if I were to it's coming, though the cogs are already moving to allow this to go, to happen. This, you are in the midst of it, and everything is, the debris hasn't even settled, so it's really, really hard to see it. And this is truly a sense of loss of power.
Yeah.
And for this one, I like how there's the idea of is that you're exploding from the inside out. And it's also, we've lost the crown, and I believe there is a sword coming out.
Oh yeah, didn't see that. Yeah.
And Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, would like this because there are no people falling from it.
There's no people.
There's no people, but it does this. Perhaps this is more of an upset of the structure and the hierarchy of things, and this perhaps is a more passionate disruption.
Yeah.
So, and
there's, I suppose, if we were talking about reversals and how the reversal of this may affect the difficulty of this card. For me, I suppose I would look at it and go, okay, the lightning's gonna blast, it's gonna take you out. But there's almost a sense of it's not just gonna be one blast, this is gonna rumble on. It's a bit like caught up in a sandstorm, and a bit like Dorothy in a whirlwind. It's like it's not just going to be crack, there you go, okay, we get over it, we rebuild. It's this one's going to rumble on. It's almost like a slow burner in many cases.
Yeah. And to answer Liz's question, I believe there is a bird flying out of the flames here, and that's a bit of a nice nuance for So nuance. Did you ignore Chris's comment? Elemental cartomancy. Okay.
Deliberately so.
Okay. And so there is that, but this is the initial disruption, and it's like, well, okay, the king has died, or somebody has been voted out of office, and now it's going to explode. Well, it's going to implode, and then it'll explode.
Yeah. And then it will all come tumbling down and get you a third time.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no way of saying it's a cheerful card, even the reverse one.
No, it's not. But it's extremely powerful.
Have we got time to do the sun card very quickly? Because
I think we should make time.
A positive, jubilant card and how that could do, because I know the tarot oppositions, in fact, both of them do it incredibly well. So we can end on the sun if that's okay. So
Yeah.
It's a shame. There's so many lovely cards that we could have continued to talk about. Perhaps we may be able to come back to this another point and do it.
If people would watch
If
it.
people would like us, because it's been fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So the sun is, as we know, almost the opposite of the tower. It's good news, it's good vibes, it's happiness, it's success, it's everything that goes with it. So what spin can you put on that? So there's your upright.
Hashtag nudity alert.
Okay. I like the sun's face in this card. Okay. And a reverse. And both have a similar theme, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, your sunflowers, all the sunflowers have gone. And in the reverse one, they've wilted, they've burnt. The sun looks very puzzled and not very happy with itself. And the child is no longer gambling gaily through the field. It's thin, it's...
Yes, it is. It is not healthy at all.
No.
Not healthy at all. So
here, the cherubs aren't quite as happy. In fact, they don't look quite so plump. It's almost like they're drowning, not waving kind of thing in there. It's the flags have gone and they're almost like trying to get your attention, flagging it
help
up
us,
there.
help us.
Yeah.
Is it
so what
Icarus?
do you think that can add to our understanding of a more shadow side? Let's call it a shadow side to the sun card. Any thoughts, anyone in chat?
I think with the sun is when it's reversed, in particular on these cards reversed, you have to really pay if you have let things go too long, you've missed the opportunity for enlightenment. The sunflowers have all gone. They've gone to seed. You're not paying attention to them, and you're missing that, and you're discontented because we have the sun. The sun does not look happy.
No.
And just there's no
do what have I done here kind of look to it.
Yes. Yes.
Here, I think again, it's that sense of you can celebrate, you can enjoy yourself, knock yourself out, but make sure you know your limitations, if you pardon the hashtag. Make sure you know that when the party's over, the party's over. Don't hang in there longer than you need to, because as we all know, Gerald, it's good to leave a party wanting people wanting more rather than to be the last one to leave, isn't it?
Yes. I also think this card is a warning not to get your lips done too much. I think that looks better. I've broken Richie. I've broken Richie.
What a way to end. What a way to end this.
Oh my gosh.
Gerald, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone in chat. What have we got coming up, Gerald? Do tell what's happening in the next few days.
Well, I know everybody who is watching has liked and subscribed to your channel. And they have liked and subscribed to my channel, for which I am grateful. And so they will know on Monday, Long Stash is doing our belting conversation. And Richie and I are joined by my friend Trixie, who is one of my longest known friends, and she was the one who I have shared the Robin Wood deck with. So that's coming up on Monday. And then on Tuesday, a little bit later than normal, Oracle readings with Tangi. We're going to do them at 5:30 Eastern Daylight and 10:30 British Summer Time, which would also be, I believe, 2:30 Pacific Daylight Time.
Okay. You've lost me at that point. Okay, but I believe you. I'll nod in the right place.
It's time to leave, Richie.
It is. So Friday, a week today, it is the Beltane readings, and it's us two giving the Beltane readings. That's what I just said. I tried to make that sound better in my head, and it didn't work. So yeah, we'll be doing live readings. So normally we would do the chat on my channel, and on the following one, we would go to Gerald's channel and do the readings. But this time it's reversed. Oh, do you see what I did there? It's reversed. The opposite. Yeah, we're doing the talk on the Monday, this coming Monday on Gerald's channel, and the readings, live readings, will be happening here.
And that's how it, because just don't let him, I don't have to always do the readings. Listen to him. Stop it. We don't always do the readings on my channel. It's just how this season works up. Yes.
That's how it's happened. We're mixing it up for Beltane.
Yes. And Jane the Seeker has mentioned, I am actually going to be on Jane's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Tuesday. And she and I are doing readings. So
fabulous. You are busy.
Yeah, the 26th.
Aren't you?
Yep. I love it. Makes me very happy.
Let's say goodbye to a few people. Oh, look who's turned up just as we're going. JD.
Jonathan.
You've been very busy today, haven't you? So
yes, Jonathan was hobnobbing with a bunch of people.
Tara Diva Ellie says sound advice about the lips. Lots of people saying yes, please. Can we do another one? Absolutely. Hello, Zara. Pleased to see you here. Thank you, says Kala. So much fun. Lots of people saying, can we do another one? So yeah, we'll try and remember which part we've done, and we'll do another one in a little while there. Thank you all. Thank you. I'll have to watch it back. Yes, you will. In your own
yes, you will.
Pleasurable time. Great conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. And Jane says, I have loved this. And thanks for the fun chat. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great weekend. Hopefully see you on Monday over on Tarot Stash for the Beltane chat.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.